For 2 years, Maya watched her boss steal her work in front of the entire company. Reports, presentations, client wins, everything she built somehow ended up with Richard's name on it. Richard was the kind of manager who survived on confidence alone. Great handshake, great golf game, completely useless once actual work started. Maya was the opposite. She rebuilt failing projects, saved client accounts, and wrote analyses so sharp they barely needed edits. But every time leadership praised the work, Richard stepped forward like he'd done it himself. At first, Maya stayed quiet. Then came the missed promotion. Richard congratulated her with a smile and said, "Your time will come." That was the moment Maya started documenting everything. Every draft she wrote, every email where her name disappeared, every presentation Richard claimed as his own. She saved timestamps, version histories, file backups, everything. 2 years of evidence. Then the company landed the biggest pitch in its history, a multi-million-dollar client. The CEO would attend personally, and Richard volunteered to lead the presentation. Using Maya's strategy deck, of course. The night before the meeting, Richard stopped by her desk and casually said, "Try not to overcomplicate things tomorrow. I'll handle the room." Maya just smiled, because the CEO had specifically requested the original analysts attend too. The next morning, the boardroom was packed. Richard stood confidently at the front, while Maya sat quietly near the back. Her slides filled the screen behind him as he walked the client through his strategy. For the first 10 minutes, it worked. The client looked impressed. The CEO nodded along. Richard was glowing. Then, one of the clients asked a technical question about the statistical model behind the projections. And Richard froze. Not a small pause, a complete shutdown. Because he hadn't built the model. He barely understood it. He'd never even read past Maya's executive summary. He started rambling, guessing, throwing out vague corporate nonsense that meant absolutely nothing. The room got quiet. The CEO's expression changed instantly. Then he turned toward Maya. "Maya, you built this analysis, correct?" Richard's face dropped. Maya stood up calmly and walked to the screen. Then, for the next 15 minutes, she explained everything flawlessly. The data, the projections, the methodology. Every answer, sharp, confident, immediate. And with every sentence, it became painfully obvious who had actually done the work. The client started directing questions to Maya instead of Richard. One of them even laughed and said, "So you're the real brain behind this." Nobody laughed harder than the CEO. When Maya finished, she handed the CEO a folder. "I also included authorship timelines and version histories for internal reference." Professional, polite, absolutely devastating. Inside were 2 years of receipts, draft histories, email chains, original files. Proof Richard had been taking credit for her work the entire time. Richard didn't even try defending himself. By Monday morning, everybody in the office knew. Richard was removed as department head and pushed into a non-client-facing operations role, so isolated people joked he'd been sent to the basement. Maya got his office, his team, his title. And for the first time, the clients she built relationships with officially belonged to her. The best part? Maya never yelled, never argued, never exposed him emotionally. She simply waited until the truth could expose him for her. Because sometimes the most satisfying revenge isn't revenge at all. It's competence. It's patience. It's watching someone build their career on stolen credit, then collapse the moment they're finally asked to prove they deserve it. And Richard? He'll never escape that meeting, because everyone in that room now knows exactly who carried him for 2 years. If this story gave you that satisfying feeling, the one where the bad guy finally gets exposed, hit subscribe. I find stories like this every week, the kind where patience pays off, and karma hits harder than any confrontation ever could. And if you've got a story about a boss who stole your credit, drop it in the comments. I read every single one.